So we come to the principles of knee replacement. You have given us the broad view, sir.
Yes.
You have spoken about the 3 points.
Right.
Something about the anatomical and the mechanical axis.
So basically, I will take you through the bony alignment of the leg first, and then we will talk of the soft tissues. Let me take the femur first. So the femur, 2 things that we consider in a planning for knee replacement. One is the anatomical axis, and second is the mechanical axis. So if you look at the anatomical axis, also called the femoral shaft axis, it passes through the tip of the trochanter distally to the middle of the knee joint. The mechanical axis, on the other hand, passes from the center of the hip to the center of the knee joint. So this axis, or this angle of this axis, is usually 5 to 6 degrees. It may be more if the patient has a coxa vara or a femur has a varus deformity, and in that case it could be even 7 or 8 degrees. If you have a patient that has a coxa valga, then this angle can be even less than 5 degrees. It could be 4 or even 3 degrees. So calculating of this angle between the mechanical axis and the anatomical axis is very, very important in our preoperative planning for knee replacement. So that is regarding the femur.
So how do you do that, sir? Do you get the whole length X-ray?
So I would come to that in my preoperative planning with the X-rays, but basically we do get full length X-rays, which means the X-ray which includes patient standing, and we do X-ray with the hip and the knee and the ankle on the same film. And if you don't have facility, then you can attach these 3 X-rays together and make a long film for your purposes. But most centers now have the facility to be able to do a full length X-ray.
Both the sides?
Both the sides.
In all the cases?
In all the cases. There are some patients who cannot stand for that length of time to get you a standing X-ray. In those cases, you can do a separate pelvic X-ray and a separate knee X-ray and a separate ankle X-ray.
And
then combine the 3 together. But this X-ray is critical because you need to calculate the mechanical axis in the right perspective, calculate the mechanical axis of the tibia, so that you make appropriate bone cuts and you are not fixed and bound to making a 5-degree valgus cut, because the distal femoral cut is vital to the success of your knee, and so is the proximal tibial cut. So these are the 2 primary cuts that are important: the distal femoral cut and the proximal tibial cut, and the entire knee replacement follows after that. So the distal femoral cut has to be at right angles to the mechanical axis of the femur, and that can vary from femur to femur. When it comes to the tibia, it is a very simpler bone. It is a subcutaneous bone, and it's easy to remember that the mechanical axis is the same as the anatomical axis, and therefore it is the line which connects the center of the knee to the center of the ankle joint. So that is what the mechanical axis of the tibia is. So if you look at this picture, now you could have extrapolated in an X-ray as well, that you have the vertical axis with the midline of the gravity, which is passing from the center of the hip, center of the pelvis, and then you have a mechanical axis passing from the center of the hip to the center of the ankle, and that should ideally, in a normal situation, pass to the center of the knee. That angle, and then we have the femoral shaft axis, or the anatomical axis. So the angle between the vertical axis and the mechanical axis is 3 degrees. Whereas if you add the anatomical axis to this mechanical axis, this distance becomes 9 degrees. So we then need to cut in extension. The femur is cut 5 or 6 degrees in a valgus situation, or in a valgus cut, so that you are at perpendicular to the mechanical axis of the femur. The tibia is cut at 0 degrees because we know that the center of the femur, center of the tibia and the center of the ankle is the same as the mechanical axis of the tibia. We must also remember that the proximal part of the tibia is in 3 degrees of varus, but we are cutting it at 0 degrees. So that will bring me to the point inflection. So if we can move to the next slide.
Before I go to the next slide, sir, usually the femoral jigs are 5 degrees.
No, you can set it to 5, 6, up to 11 degrees.
So what is your recommendation? What set do you make? Do you usually
So we have done a thesis on this, right. And we looked at 400 patients and looked at the mechanical axis. So 80% of patients fall within 5 to 6 degrees. So for our practical purposes, we take them 5 degrees of mechanical axis in our routine practice.
Right.
But There are exceptions. If a femur has a big varus deformity or an extra-articular deformity or a big varus deformity on the proximal or coxa vara, then obviously I will change depending on the what valgus angle I get. So I'm not sort of sold out to a 5 to 6 degrees all the time.
But 95 percentile is 5 degrees.
80 to 90% times it is 5 degrees. I don't want to give too much of a valgus. So our patients have inherent varus and or what you call a constitutional varus. And if you overcorrect it by giving a valgus in the femur, then they tend to be unhappy because you have removed a constitutional varus and given them a valgus. They have walked with a bit of a varus all their life. So they are not going to be happy after their knee replacement if you give them an extra valgus on the femur.
And what is the complaint they have? The medial pain.
They have a medial pain, they have a valgus thrust on walking, they can't walk so comfortable, so they are not very, very happy people.
So this is what you spoke about, sir, the flexion view.
So in flexion view, because we have cut tibia at 0 degrees instead of the proximal tibia, which is 3 degrees of varus, we compensate that by doing an external rotation on the femur by about 3 degrees so that we get an rectangular gap in flexion as well. Right. So we got a flexion extension gap which was rectangular, and that was because we cut it at 0 degrees and then we got the right amount of extension gap. But to get the rectangular flexion gap, we have to do an external rotation of the femur to get the right kind of flexion gap so that the two gaps then balance each other.
Is your external rotation also fixed?
External rotation is not always fixed. It varies because it all depends on the posterior condylar axis and the tibial cut surface that you've created. So it particularly in a valgus knee, it can vary as much as 7, 8 or 9 degrees. I've cut, my maximum has been about 11 degrees so far in my practice.
So it is variable and it has to be individualized.
Individualized because you must make it, you go by 3 lines basically. You go through the transepicondylar axis, you go through the posterior condylar line, and you cut and go through the tibial cut surface that you have cut. So you make these 3 lines parallel to ensure that you are going to have the right kind of external rotation. If you don't externally rotate your femur properly, you will have again